A well-known lacrosse local, Terry Bauer of Moon Tunes, has a long history of community service and most recently found a passion for live music, raising funds for a new bandshell, and giving the public a great live show along the Mississippi River. We chatted with Terry about what it takes to raise funds and build a one-of-a-kind marvel located on the banks of the Mississippi. I'm Amy, he's Brent, and this is Lacrosse Local.
So if you just want to tell us who you are, where you grew up, and how you got into community service.
Yep, Terry Bauer, grew up in a little town called Durand, Wisconsin, on the banks of the Chippewa River. Came to Onalaska from Eau Claire in 1997, and Dave Scogan and Marlon Greenfield from Festival introduced me to Rotary in 2000, kind of the platform I used to kick off Noon Tunes/Moon Tunes.
So what was the impetus for, as you said, Noon Tunes into Moon Tunes? Like, when did that start?
In 2012, my son and his family live in Gig Harbor, Washington, and I went up there. I try to visit them every year. And of course, we spent some time in Seattle, and they were having music over lunch. So I brought that idea back to Lacrosse, called Parks and Rec. I pitched my idea of having music in the park over lunch. He said, I'm on board. I contacted Tim Cabot, who was at downtown Main Street, said, would it be okay to have some downtown restaurants provide lunch for the musicians? And Tim was really helpful in getting that accomplished. And then two of my Rotary members, Paul Patros and Brent Johnston, said, if you're going to do music, you got to meet TJ Petersley from the Pearl. So TJ and I kind of pretty much were the founding members. And then after a couple of years, the musicians, Brent, have to take days off of work if they have a day job. They're on the stage, which is a cement slab in the sun. The crowds are very transitional with 20 to 30-minute lunches in downtown Lacrosse. So although we had a large population base to draw upon, the attendance was very sporadic. So the musicians said, can we do nights? So I called the city and said, we'd like to move to Thursday nights. And they said, go for it. TJ's wife, Michelle, came up with she goes, just change one letter, make it Moon Tunes. And since we did that, it was like putting gas on a fire. It has really taken off. It was the right thing to do. Evenings were the ticket.
So it sounds like with those crowds coming to it and a lot of people just interested in being there on Thursday nights. So how did the bandshell come about? You have the historic bandstand at first. Is there a decision to include the bandshell?
I started making some phone calls when I saw the city was going to redo the stage, but they had no money for a shell. And all the people that used the stage wanted a shell. So I contacted the concert band, Riverfest, Rotary Lights, the Jazz Orchestra, Moon Tunes, brought the Pearl and SSE Music, and Pearl Street Brewery. And we started meeting. We made a list of things we wanted to have with a band shell, and we wanted to work in conjunction with the city, Brent. So we had to go through the park board to get approval for our process. Again, we're in the floodplains. We had a lot of governmental bureaucracy to get through. We have a new park director with Jay Odegaard, which has strengthened our relationship, and he's been super cooperative to work with, and we really railroad a lot of things through quickly with his support. It's all privately funded. So we got the Heritage Preservation Commission, the park board to sign off on us putting the shell on. I think we sent out 8 RFPs, and Rhodes came back, and I absolutely fell in love with Rhodes' design. It ties into our historic logging history of Lacrosse. The structure mirrors the bridges, the copper shingles, the fish scales, and the trees blend in as a park setting. It's iconic. Once we took that to the public and we started fundraising, along with the members who used it, I called Dave Clements and Pat Stevens and asked if they would try chair with me. So the three of us have been working for a year and a half, seeking donations and contributions and driving the bus forward.
Kind of mentioned there, from the drawings to the end results, complementary to the bridges, to the water, to the logging history. What is something that you think makes the bandshell so unique that people are going to be stunned by?
One of a kind in the country. If you drive by on the road or even on a boat and look in, the whole tree structure mirrors the trees in the park. It's going to be something that I think that's going to draw a lot of attention to Lacrosse. It'll have lights on the fascia, front and back. As you're coming down the river, the park's pretty dark at night, but you're going to see this glowing in the park.
It's definitely visually stunning. Thousands of people have been to Moon Tunes, maybe for the newbies and maybe even just for this year. What can people expect when visiting Moon Tunes? Perhaps maybe what should they bring for the night or just be prepared for?
Well, we're going to maintain it as a free concert, which I think is really nice. We're multicultural, multi-generational. We have a Rotary free train rides for the children. We have great, delicious food from Piggy's, refreshing craft beer from Pearl Street Brewery, great sound for our musicians from SSE Music. putting new benches, additional benches in behind. We're also upgrading the north bathroom in 2020 and the south bathroom in 2021. So they can bring their own lawn chairs, they can bring their own beverages, they can bring their own food. We have the bike corral. We get 100 plus bikes every Thursday night. It's an evening to just relax on the banks of the Mississippi, enjoy the view, and the music is top shelf. The way I look at it, Brent, we're kind of inviting people into our backyard for a barbecue. Just kick back, enjoy the evening, hang up your iPhone, kick back, relax. And this year is going to be exciting. We're going to do the 1985 Live Aid concert with the help of Slow No Wake. We've created a very fun evening in La Crosse, Wisconsin, and for the whole area.
Free concerts can't happen without support. How can people get involved or donate?
Yeah, they can just reach out to Moontunes La Crosse on Facebook, and we can get you in touch with our sponsorship program. We do pass a hat, which helps substantially with our fundraising. We were able to contribute almost $100,000 to this project. We do pay our musicians, and quite frankly, a lot of them get their money back and said, hey, we just want to get up on the stage and look out in the park with a couple thousand people. So the musicians provide their own sponsorship in a way as well.
People can still help out with the Bandshell Project as well. Where do they go for that information?
Reach out to me on Moontunes La Crosse. I can send them a paver form with all the explanations on the paver form. We still have paver space available. If they just wanted to do a straightaway donation, they can. And we're going to continue to enhance Riverside Park with no tax dollar money being spent. It's all privately funded. We just had a great committee, Brent. A lot of people who stepped up and said, yeah, we need this. And I think when you see the end result that you can see there now, it was a project well worth the effort.
La Crosse Local Podcast is a production of River Travel Media. Do you have an interview idea you would like to share with us? Message us on Facebook at La Crosse Locals. Subscribe to the La Crosse Local Podcast on your favorite podcast app. If you like us, rate us 5 stars. We thank you for it.